Hi guys, welcome back. Um, so I want to talk a little bit what about. I wanted to talk a bit about what I've been doing in WoW. I haven't really been uploading very much just because there's really not much to do in WoW. I mentioned this a little bit in my Dirty Bomb video, but I guess if people just want to watch the Dirty Bomb video, go watch it. It's pretty good. But I don't want to shift away from WoW. I want to upload things to complement it because uploading, 8 things of WoW a week is gonna get old really fast for you and as well for me. Because there's honestly I don't know what to upload. I could do PvP videos. I'm not really a big PvP fan, especially in Legion with the way everything's going. I could upload raid videos, or I could do something like this, what I'm doing now. And that's just to talk a little bit about my experiences with raiding in this patch. So my old guild kind of just up and abandoned and left and went on to a different game, which is okay. It's their $15 a month. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get the new Guardian Druid form. What I did was I pugged instead of my guild because my guild left, so I pugged. And I gotta tell you, the Pug Life is awful. It is awful. It's very rewarding when you get a good group, but most of the time it's just it's so bad, guys. And the reason it's bad is because I go into pugs with this mentality. And this mentality is, I think, the way that I believe that all people should go into. If you're thinking about pugging, just keep this in your mind. And that is just know the fights. Just know what you're supposed to do. There's many great videos online that you can watch. It takes 5 minutes to watch for per fight. Everybody poops. You got to think if you poop at least like 9 times maybe in a week, or you have 5 minutes of free time 9 different times in a week, you can watch the fights and you know what you're supposed to do. I read a lot of forum posts about people saying, why don't people know what to do in a pug? Like why don't people speak up? And this one person's like, well, because if we speak up, we get kicked. Well, how about we remove that from the equation altogether? Why don't we just say, okay, I know what to do because I protected myself. And honestly, guys, that is the greatest piece of advice I could give you is just protect yourself. Just know what you're there to do. Okay? It's better to know that way, if you die or something happens, at least you can be like, sorry guys, that was my mistake. I should have done this. If you get kicked, you can go back to another group. But it's better than not knowing and then having somebody call you out on, and then you waste like 20 people's time. Especially tanking. I had to know every fight. I couldn't go into a Tomo Sargeras pub like, yeah, I don't really know what to do here. I couldn't do that. Um, the one fight I think I went on without watching any videos on was Sister of the Moon, and honestly, Sisters is a joke of a fight. A lot of the fights in there are normal, at least are easy. But to me, a lot of people won't find them easy. Pugs have have shown me that. But again, I just can't stress that enough. Just go in there with what you're supposed to do, and don't worry about what anybody else is supposed to do. Go in there and do what you need to do. Another mentality that you should bring with you is don't expect the best because you're not gonna. Unfortunately, you're not gonna get the best. And I'm not saying that people are bad, but all I'm saying is that people have different mentalities,
пять,
especially when they go into
четыре,
pugs, and
три,
that's okay.
два,
Different mentalities are what
один.
make the world go round, and what makes us all different, and makes societies. It keeps everything on their toes because we all have a different point of view. We all have different mindsets. But some people go in there with like, oh, it's just a pug. It's just a pug, so I don't have to know anything because it's just a pug. But unfortunately, you have to actually know more because it is a pug, because there's no voice communication. I cleared normal without any voice communication whatsoever. And we got to Kil'Jaeden, and I was tanking alongside a monk. Really, really great tank. And we soaked like every Armageddon together. Not every, but like it went him, then me, then we had 2 DPS, and then him, then me, then 2 DPS. And that way, um, it was a little more rough on us, but it just ensured that it put all the weight on us, and that way other people could just soak the little ones. And every other pug since then it's been no, tanks don't soak. Tanks don't soak at all. It should be the DPS job. And I'm like, okay. And then other groups it's like, well, tanks should do intermissions. It's just like demonic inquisition. People want to 3 tank it. You don't need 3 tanks. There's no logical reason why you need 3 tanks. If your 2 tanks know what to do, you'll be fine. If the DPS know to pop a cooldown, if they have aggro of the guy in the cage, just pop a cooldown, you'll be fine. But again, a lot of people don't They don't think about that stuff. So what they do is they find these ways to make the fight easier, to sort of cheese it. Again, nothing wrong with that. But I was able to clear 9 out of 9 at least 3 times, and I cleared 8 out of 9 once. I just the pugs were so bad. I couldn't get it done. I joined like about 5 pugs. I think I'd say about five different pugs on KJ. I have I think 32 attempts on them and only like 4 or 5 kills. No fault of mine. I've been doing everything right. But then you get to something like this, and this story is actually from my friend, and I feel really bad for him. So he plays Arms Warrior PVE. So I went in with him and my other friend who is a holy priest. We're all really geared. We're like, yeah, we'll just get a KJ kill and easy game, easy life, right? Wrong, not easy game, easy life. So when we got in there, there was the leader. I'm not gonna say any names, but he was like, okay, just gonna kick people who underperform, and everyone's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. We know what to do. We've cleared KJ. We've killed him 2 times already. And so what happened was my friend soaked an Armageddon, and then somebody else missed an Armageddon, which caused him to take too much damage because the leader, who was a healer, couldn't heal. He just wasn't a great healer. My friend healer was top heals. I don't think it's in the video that you're seeing in the background, but anyway. Um, so he's like, "Oh, okay, well this is easy," and they just kicked my friend. And okay, so my other friend left, and then I left. So they lost 3 people, and we joined another group that was going immediately after, and the leader of the other group came back into our group. So now they're stuck with us. And eventually we wiped once. I did more healing than that healer as a guardian druid, which I guess it's easy-ish to do. It shouldn't be easy to do. It's like going into a battleground and out damaging people as a guardian druid. On one hand, they're like, yeah, you're a guardian druid, but on the other hand, no, you shouldn't be getting out DPS by a guardian druid. It just shouldn't happen. But we wiped, no big deal. We got back in there, and again, the exact same thing happened. He hit an Armageddon. Somebody else missed an Armageddon. The stacks got he had 2 stacks on him, and the healers just weren't healing him. And again, it could be a fault of my friends too. Maybe he wanted to watch him die. And we were at Discord in this point. They wanted everyone in Discord for the second attempt. I said, you know what, F it. If it gets us dead, gets Kil'Jaeden dead, I'll do it. I normally join inside Discord, especially on like heroic. But for normals, it's just not needed. But and then they get in there and they're like, okay, kick the lowest DPS, which my friend was not the lowest DPS. The only reason he was lowest-ish damage was because he died, and I didn't battle res him. That was my fault. If you go in with friends and you have a battle res, just bring them up. Don't worry about anybody else. Because after the fight, a lot of the times, the only thing they care about is damage done. They don't care about mechanics. And unfortunately, again, that's the ignorance of pugs, and it happens all the time. So they're like, we kicked him. They kicked him. And, I'm still in Discord. He's like, whatever. So he got kicked. My other friend left, and then I left. He's like, wow, we lost a healer and a tank. He said, wow, impatient people. I said, no, you kicked our DPS for absolutely no reason. That's why we left. And this other guy, this healer, he's like, oh, well, it's not my fault you can't follow mechanics. It's not my fault you can't heal. But again, that's the kind of stuff that we deal with all the time in pugs. A lot of the times it doesn't happen to me or my friends, but when it happens, it sucks and it brings you down. But do not relent. Just keep going back, know what you're supposed to do, and eventually you'll get it. Even rated battlegrounds. The same thing, game's been out for 11 years. People still don't know how to attack healers. They still don't know to spin the flag or to watch the flag. But it's just the way it goes. And unfortunately, in pugs, all you can do is protect yourself and hope for the best. It's a leap of faith. That's exactly what it is. It's a leap of faith, and you put your hands with everybody else. You join together, and you hope that everyone knows what to do so you can down a boss. Anyway, guys, I guess it's just a bit of a tip or more of a story time and more of an update. But I wanted to put something out for a while. It's just I've been neglecting it for so long. It's just I don't know what to do. But we'll figure out something. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.